Hey everybody, it's Professor Diffley. This is History 100. This is 10 and 11 chapters, and this is the third and final video here. This one will be shorter. This is just an image of Barbarossa from the text there. So now we're talking about vernacular culture, high culture in the Middle Ages. Vernacular means the common tongue, the common language, and so this is more and more you start to get culture. Specific here in the Middle Ages, more to each area, influenced by the historical backgrounds, all that. You get new schools, and especially here's the focus on that, more than the churches here. And there's a video on this, on the universities and cathedrals from this era, something that we're about to see. And so you can see all of this there, but you start to get more and more universities and higher learning there. And then you start to get a change in churches as well, in the building of cathedrals, and there's a couple of videos on that, so take a look at that. But here you can see they're definitely different than the old, what's going to come. These are the older style of them, and then you will get the cathedrals, the Gothic architecture and cathedrals there. And there's a video on there about the history of the Goths. And even though the first few minutes of the video talks about, to a degree, the Goths from the transformation of the Roman Empire, it talks about the meaning of Gothic more in art than anything else. But yeah, you can see this use in cathedrals. And the characteristics of the first one at Saint Denis, and again, look at the, and so here we'll talk about the troubadours and poets of love and play. This is originally lyric poetry written in Occitan, the language of southern France. It was the original language of this. Later will transform as it moves around to Germany, northern Italy. England will be written in those languages there. Origins of it had some origins and some of the poems from the Latin, and in the churches, religious poems. This later, takes a more common view of everyday life, is what I mean by common there. And so there is some overlap in the styles. Topics here, mostly love. With a lot of them later, they will also be about war. Women are highlighted in these. The power of women to better men is one of them. Some are about sexual conquest, some about unrequited love. Some of them are about, again, equality of the sexes in love and things like that. There's all sorts of different topics and themes, but those are the main ones later, like Richard Lionheart of England, also a poet, a lyrical poet here of this, also will write about the beauty of war, things like that. So there are going to be different topics here. You can see some of the lyrics from this. I Never Died for Love is a troubadour song from here. And more of it, again, you get more of epic and romance literature, and this begins in, like I said, the vernacular of war poetry, these songs of heroic deeds. Famous one probably is the court of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So think of that as the epic and romance literature, the epic part of this. The romance literature, obviously. And romantic stuff there. Also, this is brought on by the changing role of the warrior knights, their loss of status here, and you can see this is a really, and this is part of what the discussion is for this module, looking back as they're sort of phasing out the use of knights there's a more romantic vision of them, and then this concept of chivalry, and this becomes another way, but there's videos again on this to look at. And then the Divine Comedy by Dante is a great example of this, and again, always look at the notes there. But that is actually it for this. Again, make sure you watch the required videos. They fill in the parts I skipped. There's really good diverse sources there. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Good luck.